companies that you've received quotes from and what your experience has been dealing with them? Is there a preference that the Hooksett School District would have working with which company? And
yeah, I'd be glad to. We had basically at the request of the school board, based on what you guys charged us with, we brought in 4 vendors and we said, this is the space where we meet in. Sometimes we have to meet back there based on projects or book fair. We don't always meet in this configuration. So the first thing that all the vendors suggested was it needed to be a mobile solution. And the idea with having microphones also that were wireless was so that we didn't have anything, dangling in these spaces. So we allowed them to do their jobs and give us the quotation, and that's what they provided us with. Actually, the 2 solutions do include recording directly to the camera, so you would get the audio piece right into the camera with a line dedicated going in there from the microphones.
Which 2? I'm talking about the last 2?
No, actually, the more expensive 2.
Okay.
But those include, it's a brand new system. The way that it was explained to us by the vendors was that they are wireless mics. They have, they're not external batteries, so they're not replaced. They have a charging bay. It's a small circular device that all of the mics get put in right after they're finished, and that's what charges those. So you don't need to worry about any sort of external batteries, like some microphones take. They had 2 options. One was a lapel microphone that would clip on, and obviously that can be a little cumbersome as people are moving around. So we opted to have them give us a quotation based on the desktop microphones that have an on-off switch, so you can actually click off when you're not speaking and turn it on when you are speaking. So that includes all of those. And these were what both of them came up with. The more expensive ones obviously have a lot more bells and whistles. It's basically a wireless versus a wired solution. They do include a camera because for this purpose, my understanding was we would need a video camera as well. Now the school district does have some resources, but then the question becomes, can we utilize those resources for the school board meeting as well? The school board meetings also take place in other parts of this building, so somebody would need to be responsible for moving that around. And there's different options for actually recording. You can record right into a computer. We could record the meeting directly into a laptop, take that video, and then upload that to a server, however we want to do that hosting piece. The Granicus solution, the last one that was in there, that includes a monthly fee. They are not hardware vendors. They're not in that business anymore. I did speak with Dean Schenkel as well. I talked to him on the phone. They actually had audio equipment beforehand, so they didn't need to purchase that. What they did purchase was a $500 video camera, and then they're paying this monthly fee for the hosting. So that's what I included in there as well.
Can I ask, when you stated that you could record right into a computer, does that mean you don't need this?
It's an option that you don't need that streaming device. That's correct.
Streaming, yes, thank you.
Sure.
So there would be, and I don't know, depending on what we did, the camera, whatever the camera costs are, would save us.
Right.
And we could utilize the camera for other.
Yeah, so that camera could be used for other purposes. And basically what it is you're taking that raw video file that's recorded onto the computer and then compressing that and uploading it to whatever that hosting service is, which could be a solution like Granicus. With the Granicus solution, they do provide that streaming capability, and it eliminates the need to record to a computer, as David mentioned, and then have to worry about the uploading of it later. However, the less expensive solution would be to record it onto an existing computer, take the raw video file, compress it, and upload it. So there's some different solutions depending on what the pleasure of the board is.
Mr. Chairman? Okay.
Go ahead.
Is there a limit to the hosting of how much they upload per month or whatever?
One thing I think that David was mentioning, he was talking about indexing, that somebody, if you wanted to index the meeting, what that means is you might say tonight's meeting, you give that a date, and you index different sections of the meeting. So this part of the meeting, we're talking about the audio video solution. Somebody would actually go in there, you would pay for that service, and tell them what you want indexed from the meeting. And so that somebody could actually go right online, click on tonight's meeting, and then go to the part of the meeting that they want, rather than having to watch the whole meeting. So let's say they just wanted to see one part of a 2-hour meeting, they could actually see that if it was indexed. It's an additional service, you pay a little bit more for that, so.
Right, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about, is there a limit to the amount of data that?
Oh, as far as
Let's say we
data-
wanted to have a meeting every night.
No, it's actually a pretty, this solution was, and it's the one that the town is using, would be plenty, enough space for what purposes of the school board meeting.
So that's what I was thinking, why can't we use the towns that they already have? Can we all just send our stuff to them or include it in that contract, or how does that?
I think physically we would probably need to be located there. We wouldn't be able to tie in remotely from here to that system. Unless there's a way to do it that I can't think of.
Okay, I'm just saying, if they're
Nice way
already
to try and
charging,
save some money.
if they're already charging Hooksett District that amount of money, why not go in with them? No.
Yeah, and this is the lesser of the solutions. That's $420 a month. That's the cheapest one that they do offer.
Yeah. That's still about $5,000 a year, or a little more. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
I just wanted to clarify a couple of things. Any video camera can record to a computer. So if we look at the computer solution, it's just a matter of having the right connection, which is not difficult at all. The reason that I wouldn't be in favor of that is manpower. And having someone, you need to have someone that kind of knows the ins and outs, because as computers can be quirky, things can happen. As Phil said, it has to work. That's one of the things about dedicated hardware. It only does one thing. It's wired to do that one thing. So in my normal frugal ways, I would think about using a computer. But here, where we're going to try to run this either with no help or student help or something like that, I think we need to eliminate that part of it and make it more foolproof. The other thing is, then you do have to worry also about we would have to obtain that computer, set the computer up, all of those kinds of things. So I think it would make more sense for us to go with, if they're not selling the hardware piece, we can find it from another vendor. But I would really suggest when we get to the video to go with a hardware piece. I also think that we could put the video off, because anybody wants to go on the town website and fool around with their video, I was doing it today, can get a feel for what we're really talking about, so whether we think it's worth the money or not. They do have a nice feature on there. If you're watching a video and you stop at a certain place, you can share it with somebody at that place. So if you wanted to point out to somebody, here's the video right when they were talking about the new school, you then share it right from that point, and when the other person logs onto the video, they would be where you are. So that's another kind of form of the indexing, and so there's some features on there that I think that we could take some time to look at and kind of figure out. Like I said, I just don't think it's that much of a hurry to jump into something until we really know what we're doing. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion. I make a motion to purchase audio and video equipment not to exceed $7,000, to subscribe to Granicus and purchase the equipment to upload the video to Granicus not to exceed $4,000 without board approval. I didn't pick the company, I'm letting whoever pick it. If I'm not saying,
So it's saying we want both right now,
yes,
video and audio.
yes.
I thought you said Granicus. I'm
Well,
sorry,
I'm
we've got a
saying,
motion. I'm sorry.
no, I can explain it. I'm saying purchase the audio and video equipment, because you need the video equipment to upload to Granicus. Am I correct? Matt, am I correct? You need a video camera if you're going to Granicus.
So the Granicus, with that monthly subscription that you're paying,
Yep.
you would be provided with the device that directly
then I need to-
streams the video.
Okay, I didn't understand that, then
But
I
not
need
the
to
video
change my
camera
motion.
itself.
That's correct. So
So I just need to.
hardware would be, would be separate for you guys to consider. This would only be your web streaming, and they are hosting, and as well as indexing and different functions. There's a list of what they would provide, but you would need to also purchase, in addition to that, video, audio, and all of your...
But I authorized that. Like, my motion said,
Okay.
I make a motion to purchase it all and then participate in Granicus and get that other box that we need if we need. I mean, that we need it, but not to exceed a certain amount of money without coming back and asking.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
I think there's a little confusion because Matt's saying, we're saying Granicus provides the streaming box.
My understanding is that they provide that with this cost of $420 a month.
So then.
I could be mistaken. You probably want to clarify that. Like I said, when they did the walkthrough here, they gave us what the hosting fees would be, and there's a whole list of the features that they include. Encoder hardware, which I believe, in your list here, but that can be clarified pretty easily.
And did you withdraw your motion?
She was second.
Let me do a second.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that this doesn't get lost in the shuffle here. So we need,
I'll second for discussion. If we need a second to continue,
well,
because we were talking about it without
Yeah.
a second, so.
Okay.
I'll second for discussion.
all right.
And then I have a question.
All right, we've got a second for discussion.
I think we need to figure out whether that hardware comes with it or not, because, and I understand, Tricia, but that thing you were saying about the other box, that's what we're talking about maybe included. So I didn't get the impression that it was, but if it is, we want to, if they're saying encoding hardware, then that's what we're talking about. So that word tends to make me believe that it's included here, so I'd hate to see us,
So we could have this motion go down, or vote it and have it voted down, and then make a motion to purchase the audio and video equipment, and then ask Matt to get more information from Granicus. Is there an additional cost, or does the $420 include it? Then he comes back, like, then the purchase of the equipment has already started while we find out about Granicus, and then in 2 weeks, we could make a vote on Granicus. I mean, it's not gonna be uploaded for our next meeting.
Well, to answer the first question, you could withdraw as well. You can withdraw the motion after discussion, so.
Okay, I can withdraw the motion and take another one. I make a motion,
Well,
I can withdraw the
yeah, I have to withdraw the second.
yeah, you have to
Oh,
withdraw.
I withdraw
so-
the second.
I make a motion to purchase audio and video equipment not to exceed $7,000. Do I say on that to investigate the cost of Granicus?
Well, I mean,
Or do we just give him a directive?
well, I'm not trying to tell you how, I'm wondering.
I
if
guess
we
I'm
should-
asking you to tell
I'm
me.
wondering if we should investigate, get all this information first, and then,
Well, we
once
need video, we need audio because people can't hear us.
I gotta tell you, we've had a lot of info thrown at us here tonight. I mean, we got these proposals, and, but we've had an awful lot given to us. I believe me, I'm not trying to stretch out the process any, but,
I'll second.
I won't
Thank
keep-
you, by the way.
what's that?
I'll second her motion to.
So, was that a motion? That was, okay.
Can I speak to the motion?
Yep.
I'd just like to be clear that with the encoder hardware that we're thinking is coming from Granicus, basically that is going to just have an input on the front. We can plug any video source into that. You could plug a DVD player into it, camera of any kind. So I just want to be clear for the motion that the camera is not specifically for this company. It is only the encoder hardware which we think is included. After the encoder hardware is generic, which is a generic camera that we could either buy or obtain or, something else. I just wanted to be clear that that's not having to be a specific one.